Davern.
Davern, yeah.
Davern, yeah. All right. I'm very unconfident when it comes to names.
No, you're always close enough.
Yeah. Always screw them up. All right. First of all, great show.
Thanks very much.
I've been to a couple. I was actually on one. I don't remember. I think it was 7.
Right. Very good.
It was a grappling match back when Wimp Warrior was still a thing.
In the Court Hotel.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It was a while ago, a few years. It was great then, it's great now. Like I said, I've been to a few so far. So, talk to me. Tell me, like, what does it take to put on a show like this?
It takes a lot, to be honest with you. I can't take all the credit. We have a fantastic team. Shane Smith, Marie Kennedy, Jamie, there's so many people helping out from the club and around the town and everything else. But it's pretty hard because, obviously, with medicals and it's hard to get like amateur MMA fights. Because it's so expensive on so many amateurs, especially fighting down in the Republic. So there's only like 2 MMA shows in the Republic, say one here and one down in Cork. One of the main reasons why we put it on is just to kind of promote MMA and kickboxing and jiu-jitsu in the town. Give local gyms the opportunity to kind of do the same. Yeah. And then just give our fighters a platform to be able to build a name going forward and keeping them active. That's the biggest thing. So, it takes a lot, but I can't take much of the credit, to be honest with you. Shane Smith has been absolutely fantastic. I just kind of get to coach, micromanage, and enjoy the show when it's on.
That's okay. But that's great, and you do have a fantastic team here, and everyone's been kind and welcome to myself, so I appreciate that.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. What are the highlights of an event like this for yourself and everyone putting it on? Like, what do you think are kind of the biggest takeaways you got?
The highlight for me as a coach is you see, say, a local a young lad from Tullamore or one of the surrounding areas, and I have one young lad in mind, and he's he was shy and he was very quiet and stuff that over the years, and he's kind of had a couple of fights on the EFCs, and then now when he goes around the town, he's a real humble young lad, but everyone just knows him. They're going, oh, that's the fighter, and it's just it gives the lads a platform to build themselves and create their own name and their own path going forward. So for me, that's the biggest thing, is just seeing say one lad could come out here tonight, have a fantastic performance, and then he could just build confidence and kind of skyrocket. He's not going to join the UFC or anything from this show, but just give him confidence, and then he becomes the man.
Yeah.
What I mean, or the woman, depending on who's fighting on the show. So that for me is the biggest thing. You're giving the lads a platform, and then people are all talking about them on a Monday morning and stuff like that. So
absolutely.
That's the big
thing. Tell me about the day of. So obviously the fighters can have a lot of nerves, especially maybe it's their first time, or maybe they're still really new, second, third fight or whatever. Nerves for yourself coming in here and having to set this up and kind of having is there a lot of pressure to put on a great show?
So there's always going to be pressure. Say if it's important, there's always going to be pressure. But just from competing in that over the years, I kind of know that pressure's just a part of success, and it's just a part of the process. You know what I mean? Obviously, say when you're putting on an event, the biggest thing is you don't want the show to fall apart, the electricity get cut off. There's always that kind of external kind of things that you can't control and stuff like that. But to be honest with you, again, we've such a good team. We've done it so much. We've been doing it since. Doing it for quite a long time, working with different people and stuff like that. And this is the 11th EFC show. Again, I just kind of micromanage, and the lads they were just fantastic. We were way ahead on time today, say in regards to setup and everything else. So so far so good. You know what I mean? So I think we're maybe halfway, 3/4 of the way through the card at the moment. And it's been really good so far. The crowd seems to be enjoying it. There's good numbers out there. It's sold out. Overall it's been a success so far. Great.
How do you, as a coach, when you have a fight, when you get a new person in the gym, they're amped up, they're ready to go, they're in the gym every day, weeks and weeks, and they want to fight. As a coach, what do you do to coach them to be kind of fight ready?
So I in the gym I focus on the MMA team, and I focus on the grappling team. So basically, there's a lot of things that go into it. Like say, for example, I want them to hit certain milestones in the gym. Like they have like a minimum of blue belt in jiu-jitsu. Their striking has to be a similar level, and their wrestling, their cage work has to be kind of similar. And they have to like just show up and just be, consistent and show me that they really want to. I'll never approach anyone, ask them, do you want to fight? Normally, it's the lads coming to me or the other coaches saying like, I'd really like to do a fight, and then if they're kind of pestering you enough and they're showing up to the gym and they're putting in the work, like, right, that kid he really wants it. He's showing us he wants it, because a lot of people will tell you they want to fight, but very few people will kind of show up and show you that they really want to fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you want to kind of see that from a young lad, because to be honest with you, you've seen some fights out there, like say, if you're in there like half-hearted, it's probably not. That's probably the worst place in the world to be. You have to be all in, because you're going to meet a young lad that is all in. You know what I mean? So for me, it's like if a young lad's all in and they're showing up every day, training and stuff like that, then I'll kind of coach them, and then we'll put them into fights, and we'll kind of build them up correctly, the right stages and stuff like that. That's the biggest thing for me. Do you know what I mean? So seeing that they're disciplined, showing up, and they hit kind of certain markers that we want in the gym, doing certain competitions to kind of work their way up towards, fighting in a cage on a fight night in front of a big enough crowd.
Yeah. Like, is it easy for you to kind of spot the people who are committed and who aren't?
Say that again.
Is it easy for you to kind of spot the people who are actually committed?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Because I've been coaching for quite a long time. Yeah, and like for me, it's just like it's not what people say, it's what they do.
Yeah.
And it's like I've had so many people over the years, and I'm sure coaches all around the country have had this, and all around the world. It's like some young lads will tell you everything that you want to hear, but it's the young lads that show up every single day, 2 times a day, wherever it is, and they just kind of like, it's a dangerous place, like I said, to not be all in.
Yeah.
You don't play a fight.
You could really get hurt.
You could really get hurt, and that's why I kind of take it serious. And if the lads are all in, they're more than welcome to fight. And obviously, if their skill levels at that level, you know what I mean. So we don't just throw people in just for the sake of having numbers.
So, like, speaking of getting really hurt, like, I know there's a lot of controversy around MMA and boxing, kickboxing, all combat sports. A lot of people, people I know as well, think that like it's, just like a violent blood sport, and there's aspects of that, but like, what would you do? What would you say to them to kind of try and win them over?
It's very hard to say something. It's like if you find a certain sport boring, like say bowls or something, and it's like, no, look, you go to bowls, really good. There's like good community, it's a nice kind of environment and that type of stuff. You're like, I'm not going to bowls. But if you go to bowls, then you're probably like, it's probably, I can see the thing. Now, I've never done bowls. I don't know why that.
That's a wild sport to bring up.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? I'm just thinking of something random. Like, because I was going to say golf, but golf is actually for me, it's quite interesting looking at. I'm not a golfer, but you can see there's like skill to fucking putting a ball that small in a, putting that in a hole or whatever. But the biggest thing is not say something, but kind of show them.
Yeah.
Or maybe get them to do it. Like, so jiu-jitsu I find is very good for stuff like that. Parents can do jiu-jitsu, grandparents can do jiu-jitsu, kids can do jiu-jitsu, people that have, like, say, maybe certain disabilities can do jiu-jitsu, but not everyone can get punched in the head. Do you know what I mean? So for me, I think, like, say, letting them just come into the gym, seeing the kind of camaraderie, and in any gym around the country, seeing the camaraderie and seeing the young lads and the normal everyday people on the mat. Like, we've, like, say, doctors and guards and paramedics and nurses and young lads.
It's a mix of people that normally their circles would never come together.
I've had young lads that have been in trouble and have turned their whole lives around through MMA, and on the same breath we'd have, like, say, guards and sergeants in the army. But it doesn't matter, because the mat is the ultimate equalizer. It's just jiu-jitsu or it's wrestling or MMA or whatever you're doing. So you kind of get to put your everyday life aside, and you just get to come in and you're like Fight Club, but less violent. You know what I mean? So I think jiu-jitsu is a good way of persuading them that it's like a martial art.
Absolutely. Okay, so speaking of jiu-jitsu, which is my favorite, excuse me. Speaking of jiu-jitsu, like I said, which is my favorite, like, what do you do to keep kind of things fresh and interesting? Not for just yourself, but like, your students as well.
Like, say, to be honest with you, just for me as a coach, continuous, like, say, learning and skill development and trying to not get left behind. As in, like, say, if there's like a new leg lock kind of craze or entry or certain type of wrestling or something, or certain kind of guards. Now I'm like, right, instead of dismissing it, have an open mind, play around with it, look for evidence, kind of like on the bigger stage, and if it's working at higher levels and people are using it and they're having success, it's like, right, let's train that. Maybe we can create a niche. The other thing as well is like, at the moment, I'm kind of playing around with the kind of the CLA trainings, the constraints-led approach and that, because I just find, instead of dismissing and going, no, this is the way we've always done it, and I'm the biggest, I love technique. I consider myself as a technician, and everything I've done is, say in regards, like, say, videos and instructions, it's always been based around, like, say, having details, and I would have prided myself on having technical details when I coach, but I'm literally like taking a back step and like really trying to commit to playing around with the CLA training and ecological stuff and just seeing what are the results, you know what I mean? So that's where I'm at the last while in the gym. So kind of nearly doing like a hybrid approach of showing technique, but kind of playing around with a lot of CLA training. Like yesterday morning, we did a full class on CLA training, focused on leg locks, from closing the distance to winning inside position to off balancing to keeping someone down on a hip to keeping leg entanglements, switching to different leg entanglements if we lose one, finishing mechanics and so on. So I'm playing around and just trying to have an open mind and just have that kind of mindset of like continuous learning. So it's like the Japanese thing, kaizen. That's the way I try be as a coach.
It's good to have that, because I know sometimes schools can be a bit my way's the right way. And it's good to be open-minded.
I'm only a black belt, say 7 years, and I'm like, there's lads out. But the reason I'm saying that is there's lads out there that are black belts 15, 20 years.
True.
So it's like, what do they know? Well, like they know, like I don't even know what they know. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just like, but at least that's the way I'm trying to view it. It's like there's way more to learn out there. Like my cup is just half empty, and I'm trying to fill it. And if it starts to spill, we'll empty it with the old stuff and get new stuff back in. So that's the way I'm kind of looking at it.
Right on. Okay, so back to the show. Have you got any predictions for the evening? I call anything out real quick?
I don't really want to do predictions, but the main event is going to be fantastic. It's going to be Daryl Byrne and Shane Dunn, who's one of my lads, and I know Daryl and his team and stuff like that. So that's going to be a good fight. There's loads of other fights on before that, but that one for me is the main event, and I know there's going to be a pop with the crowd and stuff like that.
Right on.
It's going to be. That's definitely one not to miss.
Amazing. All right, look. Thanks for talking to me. I wish you all the success, and hopefully we'll be able to come back to the next one.
Thanks very much. Appreciate it. Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you.